we have taken the right decision.
Is it open to the media at that time?
Matt, I cannot tell you that you're not a builder. I mean, not all our contractors are registered. If I were to put out somebody out of the meeting, I run the risk of putting out a member of the construction sector from the meeting. So it's not, media is not specially invited, but if somebody turns out, who am I to decide that you have no desire to join the industry or to be a participant in the industry?
All right. Thank you very much. What else is on the agenda?
Well, we have some institutional matters. We have to speak about training. We look back at the CVQ, what's the status, what have we achieved, and where we're going. We also will speak about DCSI, services to the contractors, what is available and how we can continue to work with them. We have some brief reports from three committees. The Education Committee, which will speak going forward with CVQ, but it also speak about our training plan for 2017. We have a membership subcommittee who will report on where we are and also speak on about occupational health and safety and where we are with 4 bylaws, which we need to do some modifications to. And we'll speak also about public relations, where we are with an important, at the juncture we are with the Procurement Act. You recall that the draft Procurement Act was not made available, even though it's the government side said that it would have been made available sometime in June, July. And after 3 months of public consultation, it will go before Parliament. The public consultation haven't started yet. It has not been made available. But that is one of the benefits of the court case. It was made available as part of court documents. So we have it. And that's something that we need to start discussing.
But do you get the impression that there's a dragging of feet on this one?
No.
Or are you satisfied with the process? Next question.
No, I cannot say we're satisfied with the process. We have not been satisfied with the process to make public procurement transparent.
So why would you not agree then that there's feet dragging?
Well, I cannot say whether it is the right foot or the left foot that's dragging or whether it's the hand or the head. But the process is not moving as it ought to. As a developing country, as a country aspiring to grow. One of the fundamental things of growth in any economy is not only transparency, but the availability, making opportunity available to persons, to the private sector. And unless opportunity is made available to the private sector in a transparent way, there is no way you can have good aspiring persons in the private sector, not just budding, but growing. And growth in the private sector will continue to be stagnated unless there is opportunity that's transparent.
Well, can you tell us, I mean, you don't want to discuss this Westbridge project, and we can understand that is before the court, but do you get the impression, sir, that, there's no transparency still in this procurement process?
I wouldn't say it's just an impression, it's reality. There's not much transparency in the procurement process. I mean, I was on...
Even with all the noises you have made before?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I was on the hang last week, and the host was indicating that there were so many projects that the government has started, and even insinuate that there was more work in the construction sector ever in the history of Dominica, which is obviously not true. But
the host was indicating
yes. That. So I challenge the host. All the projects that he has been advertising as being done, how many of them was made available to the private sector to bid, so that any budding contractor or any existing contractor could bid and give the government the best price, the economically best price to do the work, and therefore the country would benefit. The taxpayer would pay less, would sell less passports to get the work done, and so on. But of course, the host actually jumped to another question. They don't want to answer that question. So of course, there's no more transparency than it used to be. I think, if anything, it has gotten more emboldened, the lack of transparency in construction. It's one thing to say that we give a lot of guys in vehicles and in Trafalgar and in Pestina work, but is it limited only to the guys who is favored, or is anybody in Pestina who is capable to do the work being given the opportunity? And that's how you get private sector to grow, and that's how the economy is stimulated, by having persons who can work and who can give you good service at the best price, come forward and grow. And that's how we can prepare our citizens for the OECS and the CARICOM single market and the European Partnership Agreement that we have to move on. We cannot move on without having a breeding ground or hardening stage, whatever you want to call it, for our private sector, and we don't have it locally.
But while, of course, you challenge the government system and the procurement system to be more direct, there are some within government walls who said, well, he has challenged it, but he has been the beneficiary of some works as well. How do you defend that?
How do I defend that? I'm the beneficiary of works that we tender for, that has been open for us to bid along with other persons. We have been beneficiary. You're speaking about this engineering, I imagine.
Yes.
We have the beneficiary of works financed by CDB, with the Antrim Water Supply Project. We are doing the road works. We competed against anybody who wanted to bid for the job. Incidentally, we lost. There were two bids that went in there. One of them, an $11 million job, we lost by about 3%. Very competitive with the party who won was a party from France. 3% with an international bidder. A couple years ago, we beat them. This time, they beat us. So it helps, and it helps for growth. We have also been the beneficiary of work in Belleville-Chopin in terms of the water supply, financed by CDB again. And recently, we have worked with the Montreal Management Consultancy Establishment, bidded along with NH International and the Chinese firm that built the Antigua Airport. And we have been the beneficiary of the infrastructure work. Matt, I can tell you that we tried hard enough to make the entire housing development done by locals. We were not successful. We spent a couple months back and forth, bidding, negotiating. We were not successful. But I cannot say, you see, Matt, is one thing for there to be lack of transparency and not to get work, especially not allow work to be given to the local sector. And it's another thing to fall down and die. You have to be at the forefront. You have to look for the work. You have to put your best foot forward. And this is what I want to encourage the rest of the sector to do. Not just complain when things don't go wrong, but work hard, be industrious.
How do you defend it? I know there's a clip floating around, a voice clip from Mr. Tony Astafan, accusing you of being a liar and having gotten millions of projects with no tender. How do you defend that? And is there any truth to that at all?
Well, you see, I don't have to defend anything Tony Astafan said. Tony Astafan is I would say, he gets his method from the Gestapos. A lie repeated often enough will gain belief, and that's what he does. He's as good as the Nazis in that sense, that he just kept repeating a lie and doing it. I have no intention of defending anything. I haven't heard the clip myself.
You've heard about it?
I would tell you, I was surprised at one of the court hearings where Tony Astafan literally attacked me verbally about getting work and all of that. But I don't have time with Tony Astafan. There's more important things to do in life than bother with Tony Astafan and his lies.
When we come back, we'll continue talking about the agenda for the big meeting tomorrow, the Builders and Contractors Association. Coming back.
Madam Razad, silte iskino, yali oti doctor, they take 2 tablets every 6 hours. Yali po 6 tablets every 2 hours. Ambulance ki wamasi, iti got chime. When she recovered yodi from no one, you go to Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. La yoke espiche tout bite bawa. Like we vela, idio, you that is Quick Care? Yodi yes ma'am, Quick Care. Ever it have a personalized service. It tell ma satisfy. Like we I get dependable, knowledgeable, trustable, and supportable service. Ma oui dit yes, that is a big table. I gade avec di Howard Juju ka fe moi. I be no honey. Go and take your medicine. Yes, Quick Care Pharmacy Kote Halsbro. Service you can trust for all your prescription and over-the-counter drugs. He can, she can, they all can testify about the professionalism and benefits Kote Quick Care Pharmacy. Pour mieux faire un texte, c'est Saint Thomas avec dit the medicine by Quick Care delight all my sickness. It have lady delete. Quick Care Pharmacy Kote Halsbro. Telephone 440-8600.
Home Best Limited pre-Christmas sale is now on. A massive 20% discount on a wide range of selected tiles. Sale starts from November 28th until December 10th. Yes, you heard right. 20% discount. Our biggest sale of 2016. Limited stock. First come, first serve. Visit us at 94 Independence Street or come to a warehouse in Kenfield Industrial Site. For further information, call 440-0565 or 449-2214. Think quality. Think Home Best Limited.
Christmas is just around the corner, and Dominic wants you to light up and win big. Homeowners throughout Dominica, register with your village councils to participate. The Roseau City Council is the place of registration for residents of Roseau and environs. Light up and win this Christmas with Dominic. Visit your village council office or call 255-6031 for more details.
Dominic, the power to serve you better.
Play fast, play loud, play bold. Enjoy flexibility and best value from Digicel Play's new TV and broadband bundles from as low as $89. With Play Fast, enjoy 32 video channels. Play Loud gives you 46 video channels. Then there's Play Bold, 98 video channels. All bundles come with 50 music channels, 8 radio channels, and 8 megs internet. Choose the bundle that's right for you. Sign up today. Get free connection, free installation and set-up box, or sign up for our TV only offer from as low as $25. Call 616-1700 for details.
Building your home is an expensive venture and a lifetime investment. Therefore, you want to be sure that your builders are quick, reliable, efficient, and competent. That's why you must call the professionals at Progressive Construction. We specialize in all concrete works, tiling, plumbing, electricals, and carpentry. We also do retaining walls, guttering, and roof power washing. Yes, we offer the whole works. Kisa udila uja build? Renovate uka renovate? Ebe, we do that as well. Mem si se la potuka mete, nuka fesa aussi. With Progressive Construction, no job is too big or too small. We can do it all. Call us today at 448-6980 or 613-3176. Or better yet, email us at roywil18@hotmail.com. That's ROYWIL18@hotmail.com. Progressive Construction. You dream it. We build it.
Home Best Limited pre-Christmas sale is now on. A massive 20% discount on a wide range of selected tiles. Sale starts from November 28th until December 10th. Yes, you heard right. 20% discount. Our biggest sale of 2016. Limited stock. First come, first serve. Visit us at 94 Independence Street or come to a warehouse in Kenfield Industrial Site. For further information, call 440-0565 or 449-2214. Think quality. Think Home Best Limited. There is only one furniture and appliance store in Dominica, which brings you quality at the most affordable prices. Appliance Plus for sofa beds. Appliance Plus for quality microwaves. Appliance Plus for refrigerators and stoves in all sizes. Check out Appliance Plus today for special Christmas discounts on selected items. Visit Appliance Plus on 43 Great George Street in Roseau. Appliance Plus for the brands you trust.
Enjoy Christmas in November at Astafan Supercenter Roseau and Astafan's Home and Building Center in Fonkole, and get up to 50% discount when you shop in our electronic, wholesale, furniture, clothing, shoes, hardware, and builder supply departments. Promotion starts November 2nd. Hurry down to Astafans for your early Christmas shares. Astafans, right place, right price. Right terms and conditions apply.
We're back with the Builders and Contractors Association this morning. A big meeting planned for tomorrow. Where's the meeting taking place?
It's going to be Dexia Conference Room. DCSI shares that conference room with Dexia, so we're going to be at the Dexia Conference Room. That's upstairs where people know it as the place where they sell rice and sugar, opposite the Fisheries market, right next to the new market. And it's going to start at 5. And as we were saying on the agenda, going to be the institutional strengthening areas that deals with education and membership and public relations and or work and activity with DCSI, CVQ, and so on. But we're also going to speak, as we alluded to earlier, the West Bridge case. We're going to discuss what went on at the hearings, where we are, and so forth. What is the legal advice that we continue to have? And then we're going to speak about housing, government housing program, and where we are. Matt, the fact is the bulk of our contractors are house builders, and we have to look at that. And where is it working there? We had some discussion with the government in the past about its housing program. Remember, there was a challenge by the Prime Minister in June of 2015, May-June 2015, challenging the private sector to get involved with the government in housing. We have had some correspondence. We have had a meeting with the Prime Minister on that. We need to discuss where it's going. We also want to discuss where we are with the Kempinski Hotel and collaboration, and with NH, where we are as the contractor sector, and several other areas that we need to discuss. Will be open for a lot of questioning, a lot of discussion. So it's important that members and non-members, contractors or not members, attend the meeting. Of course, we'll be open to registration for new membership. Persons can do that even in advance of that at DCSI office. The number will be 266-4092-4094. Person can call there or just go upstairs next year. DCSI office is at the back, right in. You have to go right in. Miss Toussaint would be there, and Miss Fabian to assist them. So persons can start preparing for the meeting. They'll wait until Tuesday and have to deal with membership or renewal of subscriptions and so on. So all of this is taking place at the meeting. It starts at 5. We'd want to start on time. Hopefully that trough system would be over by that time, and we pray God that we'll have no damage. We know especially contractors who work out in the open suffer from this trough system. I would want to personally encourage them to practice good safety habits now, ensure that drainage areas are cleared, and they work safely. Preparation for rain, that there's no damage to their works or damage to property or persons.
Yeah. Based on your membership, how do you expect a big number tomorrow?
Matt, when we can advertise the meeting on the radio, we get a full house generally, whether people are members or not. So I expect a full house.
I asked that question because I've heard it out there. Mm-hmm. Well, this Building and Contractors Association and their quietness and the silence, it appears that some members have been sold out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well,
hence the confidence of the Builders and Contractors Association. Well, I don't want to be part of this because.
No. I don't think there's an issue with our confidence. Some people ask me, and up to Thursday, I was asked on the hang, isn't it true that there are contractors employed on the West Bridge project and they have sold out, or isn't it an indication that
they don't care?
They don't care or they don't support you? And I said no, because if you recall, when we had the press conference on the 25th of April 2016, one of the things that we said, and I remember personally saying it, that I do expect persons who have no work at this stage to seek and get employment from there, whether it's an individual person or contractor, because
it's a good thing then.
It is. I mean, it is work. There's nothing wrong with the individual getting work in there if he does it above board. Okay, and I don't think it's fair to allow somebody to ask somebody not to feed their family because they're getting legitimate work, especially in a situation that there's very little work.
But isn't it defeating the cause, if you will? Like, my group is fighting on my behalf, and I'm turning around the corner there and defeating that purpose.
I would say no, and it depends how you look at it. I would say the guys who are doing that should take the employment and turn around and give us some money to help pay the legal expense from the benefit of the work. And it's like bribery in campaign funds. Somebody gives you $10,000 to vote
for one particular party.
For one party, it doesn't matter which party. I always advocate it's not necessarily their money. Sometimes it's the country's money. Take the money, do vote for them.
And this analogy
similar.
Is similar.
Yeah. I don't see that I have a moral authority to tell people starve yourself and don't work where the work is legitimate. The point is, it also emphasizes that there's enough talent in the country to do the work. The point is, most of the work is being done by local talent, and that
as we speak.
And it emphasizes that local talent could have been given the opportunity to do the work from start to finish, including the cream of the work, including the profits.
But if you say that most of the work is being done, according to your reports, by local talent, then why the noise?
Why what noise? Why are we saying? Because that's exactly the thing, Matt. We cannot continue to live in an age or continue to perpetuate an age where the local persons are not given an opportunity. All we're asking for is the opportunity to sit by anybody else and bid for work locally. I mean, the European Union allows us to do that. CDB allows us to do that. The World Bank allows us to do that. DFAD allows us to do that. USA allows us to do that. Why isn't our own country, the very government that we elect, giving us that opportunity? Why do they find something is wrong with us? Why? It's like your father not giving you work from his business. He gives everybody else. But everybody else give you work from their business. As I said, charity begins at home. And how do we build our local private sector unless we give them that hardening ground?
All right, let's take a phone call here. We have a few more minutes. Hello, Mr. LeBlanc. Hello. 449-3095. You can choose to call back. Let's go. Let's take another call there. Take a few before we wrap it up. Hello.
I say praises, thanks, blessings, and glory to all those with humanity. Mr. Peltier, blessings on your family, sir.
Sir, good morning.
Yeah, Mr. LeBlanc, blessings on your family. Is there anybody else in the house, man?
No, just Mr. LeBlanc.
Mr. LeBlanc, blessings on your family, sir.
Thank you, sir, and same to you.
I listened to you with Simeon Albert, my brother. What a disgrace. I realized it was ended prematurely, and then you notice who was the next person on the program via telephone, Tony Afterfunds, and I heard you talk about he attacking you personally. Just a few things quickly. Having to do with the brother made a very interesting analogy having to do with your father giving everybody work. He's a big man, he employing people, but he's not giving you work. And then you have other people who get work or have gotten work from your father giving you work. So in the first place, if you're capable, why not give you the work and then you'll employ other people? What is the motive? And I've said it's a deliberate and systematic form of enslavement. And I do not see you giving it to somebody else when we are capable of doing it. The brother said that. All of a sudden you might have the steel bender, the excavator driver, and other things. That's the little people. But the cream of the crop is talking about is the contractor. And if there is not a fair and even playing field, if the table is tilted towards one side, the prejudice goes to a Barbadian company, a British company, or whatever, and you have the capability in Dominica, what is the motive? And sir, in closing, a question. I don't know if you can comment on it. But sir, do you think that project there was $18 million, sir? Thank you.
I think we have made that statement already, so I can say yes. No, we do not think that it's valued at $18 million. We think it's closer to $10 million.
All right, let's take another phone call. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, yes.
I just want to tell Mr. Lieber, I understand what he's saying, because if all local talents are being used to do the project, why can someone be the contractor? Why do they get an outside contractor who cannot do the work, but yet have to hire people here to do the work? In other words, they are getting all the profits, and Dominicans are getting the pieces. They are getting the small amount, and these people are going away with all the profits. So I understand them.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's 8:51. It's just about 9 minutes before we wrap it up this morning. Hello, talk to me.
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to Mr. Libla.
Good morning, sir.
Matt, I don't know when we'll get the message. This government, they are not interested in Dominicans. Matt, we know when, we get money overseas from other, donor agencies and friendly governments. You have conditions sometimes applied to how it is that you're going to get the, to attract the job. But Matt, this time is our passport money that been in a bridge, and Dominicans cannot get it. Our money. So you're not seeing, Mr. Libla, you might be, I don't know, I admire your courage, but trust me, it's not going to work, because until we take out these guys, you're not going to get jobs. These guys have a policy anti-Dominicans. Look at the Chinese job. We're not pressing you. But the Chinese have to come there. They can rent the same equipment the Chinese coming with. They can rent it. These guys are not interested in Dominicans. That's simple as that. Matt, you're doing a very good job, but I'm sorry. Our country is just going back and back and back. But we can be rescued. They must come out there. They have to come out there. Have a good morning.
Any interest from the local contractors as it relates to the new hospital?
I cannot say that I know for a fact anybody was approached or interested. And this is part of our concern and something that we have addressed to the administration for a while. That foreign direct investment, that there's a need to engage the local construction sector into it. We have tried to make sure there's a structured way to do that, where persons in the private sector, in the local construction private sector, get an equal opportunity based on their abilities. A form, as you may want to call it, a tender type process, where the local players put out their abilities, their skills, their resources, and we have short list of packages based on that. As far as I know, that is not happening. That has not happened. And we end up, unfortunately, not getting the best quality work. I mean, I'm not criticizing the Chinese, because I think the Chinese can do very good work, and they do good work all over the world. The problem may be our supervision of the Chinese. I mean, look at the stadium, how old it is, and it needs that much repair. Look at the West Coast Road. It's supposed to have been a new state-of-the-art highway. But you compare to the drivability of the West Coast Highway to the Portsmouth-Harton Garden Road, it's not much different at this stage. Portsmouth-Harton Garden Road is 30 years It's 1986, I believe it started. So the quality of work that we get from the Chinese is much wanting. The State College, you have issues there. It's a new building. And it's not that the Chinese are bad workers or the bad contractors. The problem is our attention to detail and our supervision of the Chinese. They're just not being supervised by us.
Hello, talk to me. Very important point there. Hello.
Just a few seconds, quickly, Matt. You there with me?
I'm here.
Mr. Leblanc, you're professional, so you're being a diplomat. But I think having to do with what you have just said, the latter comments, to me, it doesn't cut it. But quickly, Matt, that is what you call disempowerment.
But what do you mean it doesn't cut it? I want you to explain that to me, Blessings. You were not satisfied with the comments he made about the Chinese?
No, he said the lack of supervision thereof. That's why we may be getting the poor.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But you think it's more than that?
Yeah, look in China, they're a company that have a history of disaster on its side. Look at Scalpel building. A Scalpel just bricked and killed, how much, 40-something men dead. And I mean, the Chinese is just a mess. But what I wanted to say, Matt, talking about the disempowerment, it is deliberate. What that is happening, Roosevelt Scarrett may have his good intentions in his own delusional way. But Matt, come on. How can you tell me your own people in your country, if it's not something more sinister you have in mind, why would you not want to give them the cream of the crop? Why would you want to give it to somebody else and they themselves, according to the brother, we have our professionals there with the expertise, then they will have to be working under the Chinese, under the Bajans or the English people who are... Matt, why would you want to impoverish your people if it's not just, absolute control, absolute power? It is criminal. It is wicked, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll have to be wrapping up there in a minute, but let's see if we can take one final phone call. That's if you call in the next 60 seconds. But again, Mr. Leblanc, remind us of the agenda for tomorrow.
So, yes, the meeting starts at 5 o'clock, Dexia building, Dexia conference room, next to the Fisheries Department. Fisheries Market, sorry. Agenda involve institutional matters, including our working with DCSI, where we are in education, our education subcommittee report, where we have membership subcommittee report, public relations, where we have the new Procurement Act, what needs to be done, CVQ, what have we done and where we need to go. And of course, report and discussion on the West Bridge case, the government housing program, our attempts and our working with the Kempinski Hotel and NH International, and continue discussion on membership, registration, and so on. So Matt, I expect a full house tomorrow. It is a full agenda. I imagine we'll go from 5 to at least 6:30 tomorrow.
Okay, let's take our final phone call and wrap it up with Mr. Leblanc from the Dominica Builders and Contractors Association. Hello.
Hey, Matt. How you doing this morning?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's Monday. Mr. Leblanc?
Yes, sir.
I heard you before. You're always criticizing the Chinese, and you got blessing doing that too. Mr. Leblanc, can you put some more effort into your own contractors down there so people could get better quality work?
All right. Are you saying that there is no reason to question the Chinese?
Yeah. We could question American contractors. We could question anybody. But it's the effort you put into it, Mike. But I'm talking. Why don't you put some more effort into? Because let me tell you, Matt, people that are living overseas, Europe, America, and they try building a house in Dominica, the amount of problems they have with contractors down there. Can you put a little more effort into your contractors?
Can you answer the question?
Yes, of course. And Matt, part of the problem is that we a lot of people come from the United States, Europe, send money to their friends or relatives to build a house and do not put any effort in getting professional help. You choose a contractor, there's no evaluation of the contractor, proper evaluation of the contractor.
So a lot of the blame you're saying there indirectly.
It's penny wise, pound foolish. A lot of that blame goes there. That people don't put, and sometimes the largest investment in your life, but they won't insure it by having a professional take care of the work.
Are you there, caller? That is part of the problem.
Yes, but Matt, could I ask one more question before you go? I know you're out of time. Mr. Fontaine, do you have like workshops for your contractors? Like, you know, we have like with the union, you know, once a year we could, you know, just to refresh them, like little workshops. Do you have that down there?
Well, I can say that I know that you've been having that, and
yes,
Mr. Libler can speak for himself.
And we want to increase that into 2017. That's one of the things on the agenda. To hear from them, we have proposed courses that we're going to run next year, but we also want to hear from them whether there's anything else that we haven't thought about. Yes, that's the intention for come next year.
Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, the Dexia building, builders and contractors, please make an effort to be there at the Builders and Contractors Association meeting. That's not your annual general meeting.
No, it's not. Our annual general meeting will be sometime next year.
All right. Mr. Libner, thanks for coming.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much. I'm hoping that we get a big update tomorrow at that meeting.
Yes. Tomorrow.
As it relates to the West Bridge, a lot of questions about
Sure. If persons want to hear about it, come to the meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Caller, thank you. Trying to find out what's going down in the court there. Carlisle John Baptist is on the line. Carlisle, good morning to you.
Hi, Matt. Morning to you, many listeners. What's up, bro?
Okay, you had a good weekend.
Oh, yes. Can't complain. I'm alive.
Right.
Even got thanks. So, weekend, you know, it was good. Nothing to complain about.
Carlisle, also, I was told that you were at that, of course, church service of the PS. I heard a lot of interesting comments being made there by Mr. Alvin Knight.
Well, yes, I was there at the funeral of the late Marcelo Powell, who was literate on Friday. A lot of people have been asking those questions. Why she never was appointed? She's acted so many times she's worked in several departments, hospital services coordinator, she worked at the hospital, and she worked in several departments. What is mind-boggling, Matt, is that people came after her and they were appointed in the post of PS, and she has been there and nobody even bothered about her. She did her work and she was never appointed, so she went in her grave acting.
Some people also asked Carlisle, was that the appropriate time to say this?
Well, what has to be said has to be said. That is the whole point. Why wasn't? I
am agreeing with it, but Carlisle, the critics who would ask that question.
Yeah, I mean,
I am agreeing that it was said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but as I said, some people will say, was it the right time to say this?
Well, if it wasn't the right time, then when? Because, I mean, people have been asking so often, why wasn't she appointed? She was a person. She's been in that position for so long. And, I mean, why wasn't she appointed? She acted under the United Workers' Party government. She acted for a while there, and this current administration. So she's been there in an acting capacity. Acting for who? In a vacant position. You had the PS in the PS in sports. I think that's Miss Fagan. She came after. She was given a position there. And you have other people. There are people, Matt, who doesn't know anything as it relates to the public service. And they just came in and they became PSs and they got top positions. The question is why she was never appointed in that position.
It's unfortunate, and I know I've spoken to one or two family members who's not too pleased about it.
But I am hoping that thing like that ought to have never happened and should not continue. I know enough people who spoke. If you listen to DBS, I heard what's his name, former President Eliud Williams had some very, very good comments, and every single individual in terms of the comments that they had to say about her. So I am saying, Matt, why? I mean, the powers that be, they are the only ones with the answer. And mind you, I can guarantee you within the next few months, someone will be in that position acting shortly, but they will soon be confirmed. They will be confirmed. They will not spend all those years in that position acting.
Especially if they're associates of the ruling party.
Here you go again, brother. Here you go again. These are all the things which has been happening. And I mean, she was branded as a very, very good staff, hard worker, worked tirelessly up until her death, late hours in the evening. So why wasn't it good to give her the position, to confirm her in that position? And that is why I always say, bro, they will say all the good things about you when you are dead, but when you are alive, what is due for you, they do not give it to you. They do not give it to you, which is very, very unfortunate. Don't say, partner, whatever you have to tell it to me now. What you have to give it to me now. Don't give it to me when I'm dead and say those things to me when I'm dead. It's of no use. It's of no use, really. I mean,
but I'm happy, as you said, that Calvin that Alvin Knight, found the strength to say to the powers that be. I heard a lot of eyebrows went up in that service when that was said.
Well, yes, some people probably would not be happy with the comments that were said, but it had to be said. That is the whole point. It had to be said. There are certain things that you just cannot hold back. You have to say what you have to say. Otherwise, you will not probably get the opportunity to even say it again. And that. I was even wondering, Matt, why DBS didn't carry the church service live. I found it very strange, and I'm just asking, well, Kyrie...
You're asking why? But Kyrie did, and you have to commend Kyrie for that.
Oh, yes. I have to. They did it, and but you would have something like that, bro. You would naturally hear DBS Radio say they will be carrying the funeral service live.
Somebody's just reminded me that too, and I want to agree, Matt, there is no right time or place for the truth.
Exactly. What has to be said has to be said. Facts are facts, and facts are stubborn things.
Yes, facts are really stubborn things. Khaled, what else? But of course, we want to, say to you that she got a good sending off.
Well, yeah, I was there. I still felt that much more people could have attended. In the yard of the St. Mary's Academy, there was a tent there. I'm of the view that much more public servants ought to have been at that funeral service. Much more. So
you expected a bigger crowd?
A much bigger crowd. The cathedral chapel is small, so a few hundred people will fill it up. Outside, when you entered, you had about 25 people standing outside. 25 to 30 people standing outside. In the yard of the SMA, there were a number of empty seats. There were a number of empty seats under the tent. And some people felt that, they will not be missed. So many people going to be attending that funeral, so they're not going to go there. But I'm of the view that much more could have attended that funeral service.
Khaled, what else is in the news?
Well, you have, Matt, a number of things you would have heard. Well, today, he probably would have started already. It's after 9. McKinley Williams will be giving his, because the state has closed its case, its murder case against him, and he will be giving his side of the story as to what transpired a few years ago. So that's a murder case going on. You would have also heard that the High Court Judge, Victoria Charles Clark, she fined two cousins, Durham from Marigot, $135,000 each to be paid in some installments. Fire a few years ago in that area. Also, there was another guy who was fined about $60,000 for wounding. He was found guilty, and he too was fined $60,000, and all that took place over the weekend in the courts, High Court in Roseau. So a number of matters came up, and the judge had to deal with that as it relates to sentencing. There will be also a sentencing taking place on Wednesday, where I think it's an incest and also a rape. So the guy who was fined $60,000, that is the state versus Greenwich Foster of Dubla. He was charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent to Adrian Carbon on 7th July 2013, where he actually took a knife and stabbed the virtual complainant several times for no apparent reason. And he was fined $60,000 to be paid in various installments over, again, a period of time. And he has to pay $10,000 by the 30th of April 2016, $10,000, actually $10,000 month end November 2016, $10,000 30th of April 2017, another $10,000 in October 2017, another $10,000 December 2017, and $15,000 in June of 2018. In default of any payment, 12 months in jail. And also he has to pay $5,000 within 3 months. In default, 2 years in jail. So that is the total of the $60,000. And the Durham brothers, the Newbury brothers, $50,000 each by 30th of April 2017, another $50,000 by November 2017, $35,000 April 2018. In default, 12 months in jail, and they were given a 3-year suspended sentence for 2 years. In total, each of them has to pay $135,000. The house costs $270,000. So that's happening in the court. You would have heard of the Shindy Gallery matter, Matt. The Shindy Gallery matter, where the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions put in a noli prosi, meaning that stating that they were no longer interested in the matter. That matter has gone to trial about 3 times. And he was found guilty the second time, and when he was found guilty, he was jailed for 18 years. But his lawyer, Mrs. Dyer, appealed the matter to the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal, and it was remitted back to the High Court. And so the DPP, yes, looking at all the circumstances in the matter, took that decision and decided to nolly-pros the matter, saying that they were no longer interested in that matter. Also, a very, very interesting matter that will be coming up. You will hear in the Sun newspaper today, you expect that in the Sun newspaper today, where a matter dealing with this whole passport matter, dealing with former Attorney General Matt, Mr. Wilshire, and all the other persons, the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions has also written an opinion on that matter, because that matter was thrown out twice by the magistrate's court. And so given this, the time that matter has taken, the DPP has written an opinion stating that they no longer are interested in that matter. So basically the people are now free. They are now free, the number of people who are there. So my understanding is that the chief personnel officer, that department, they are dealing with that matter now. So the people who are involved or who were involved in that situation, the public officers, to get back their jobs and, to move on with their lives, because that matter has been outstanding for a number of years. And so that matter was hanging over their head. And so the DPP has written an opinion as it relates to that. Also, you can look out for what we spoke about, Matt, in the, we said we were going to have something this week. I just forwarded you some information, maybe you could probably edit it, having to deal with former Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Jean Pestina. Mr. Pestina, we are aware, is terminally ill, and Mr. Pestina, that story will be on the front page of the Sun newspaper. Mr. Pestina has written several letters to the state. One of his lawyers was Mr. Anthony Astafan, and he's asking that since he was a police officer, his pension, which is due to him, he's asking for that pension, and no one seems to be wanting to take any fact of the matter that under the law he's due for his pension.
So you're actually saying that his letters have been brushed under the carpet there?
That is correct. And in the interview, I just sent it to you, Matt, so you can probably cut a piece and edit it and play it out, because Mr. Pestina is really crying for help. He has a number of people assisting him, the Bar Association, also the retired police officers, the Association of Retired Police Officers. They are also, I'm trying to help him. Mr. Gildan Richards is also acting on his behalf. They've written several letters, and Mr. Pestina has to go to Puerto Rico every 2 weeks for medical attention, and he's basically broke. He's saying he has absolutely no money. He's crying, Matt Foyle. When you hear this interview, I did this exclusive interview with Mr. Pestina. You will almost, it will almost bring you to tears. And when you read that story in the Sun newspaper, you will wonder what is really going on. He has gone all out, and he's saying no one is hearing him. He's asking for people to please help him.
His cries falling on deaf ears, Carlisle Baptist.
That is correct, Matt. So I have sent you the interview that I did with him. That is what we were talking about. He's terminally ill, and he's begging. He's down on his knees. According to him, he is now a pauper. He's now down to a pauper. I'm serious, Matt. Just listen to this interview, and you will hear the struggles that this gentleman is going through. And he called me in, and we did this interview, and he has asked that I put it out to the general public. He has asked for help. He's asking for help. He says the Bar Association is assisting him, or he has spoken to them, and no one seems to be wanting besides Mr. Richards. And he's also saying that if he goes to court, apparently the matter, from what he's saying, the matter will drag on. He may end up dying before he can get his just dues. And he's basically saying that he's exhausted almost all his options.
Where's all the cry, Carlisle, and talk about, caring for the elderly? What's really going on?
Well, Matt, very, very, very interesting. But that is the situation, and that is what is happening. Mr. Pestina is terminally ill, and he has to go to Puerto Rico every 2 weeks for treatment. And the gentleman needs his money, his pension, which is due to him. And he also told me that he's spoken to a number of people, even the former Attorney General, Miss Francine Barron, who was his lawyer when he was dismissed by then Attorney General Bernard Wilshire, and he won that case. And he's spoken to them. He's asking for the help again. He said Anthony Astafan, senior counsel, was once his lawyer. He's hoping that Mr. Astafan is still his lawyer, because Mr. Astafan has done absolutely nothing. And I asked him, has he spoken to the Prime Minister? Matt, listen to that interview. Play that interview.
Contractors, as soon as I get it and edit it, the people will hear it.
I have sent it to you. You have it in your inbox, man.
Thank you very much, Carlisle. And great work out there. 9:10 is the morning time. Thank you. We'll take a break. We'll come back after this.
There is only one furniture and appliance store in Dominica, which brings you quality at the most affordable prices. Appliance Plus for sofa beds. Appliance Plus for quality microwaves. Appliance Plus for refrigerators and stoves in all sizes. Check out Appliance Plus today for special Christmas discounts on selected items. Visit Appliance Plus on 43 Great George Street in Roseau. Appliance Plus for the brands you trust. There is only one furniture and appliance store in Dominica, which brings you quality at the most affordable prices. Appliance Plus for sofa beds. Appliance Plus for quality microwaves. Appliance Plus for refrigerators and stoves in all sizes. Check out Appliance Plus today for special Christmas discounts on selected items. Visit Appliance Plus on 43 Great George Street in Roseau. Appliance Plus for the brands you trust.
Enjoy Christmas in November at Astafan Supercenter Roseau and Astafans Home and Building Center in Fonkole, and get up to 50% discount when you shop in our electronic, wholesale, furniture, clothing, shoes, hardware, and builder supply departments. Promotion starts November 2nd. Hurry down to Astafans for your early Christmas shares. Astafans, right place, right price. Terms and conditions apply.
We are the NCCU, with service dedicated to you. We are the NCCU, with service dedicated.
Want a loan? Get it quick. Land pickle education, domestic. You think we done? International debit card and MRA for retirement. Giving back to community. We are one big family, for young and old and in between. We are the NCCU, National Cooperative Credit Union. Service dedicated to you. We are the NCCU. Visit us in Roseau and our other branches island-wide. We are one big family.
If this hurricane coming, I'd better make sure I'm ready. I have my batteries and flashlight, water, tuna, sardines, and of course, Cricks, my vital supplies. Plus, with this new packaging, Cricks stays fresher for longer. So now I'm prepared for anything.
Cricks Vital Supplies.
Millennium Store, good morning.
Do you sell copy paper?
Yes, we do. And as a matter of fact, we also sell deed paper, writing pads, pens, manila folders, and other office supplies at affordable prices. We even sell school supplies.
Do you deliver?
Yes, we do. Shopping for office supplies has never been easier. Shop from the convenience of your office at www.themillenniumstore.com or call our office at Pottersville on 440-5540 to place your order. Millennium Store, we deliver your office needs.
There is only one furniture and appliance store in Dominica, which brings you quality at the most affordable prices. Appliance Plus for sofa beds. Appliance Plus for quality microwaves. Appliance Plus for refrigerators and stoves in all sizes. Check out Appliance Plus today for special Christmas discounts on selected items. Visit Appliance Plus on 43 Great George Street in Roseau. Appliance Plus for the brands you trust.
course, we heard on the weekend that Fidel Castro was famously proclaimed after his arrest in a failed attempt that history would absolve him, has died at age 90. And a group of professionals in Dominica, brave the many challenges in the early 80s and went to study in Cuba. I think this is the group in Dominica that will be most remembered because of the struggles, that they had to go through and endure, because they decided to study in Cuba at the time. One of the professionals is Dr. Damien Dublin. He's on the line with me, and I'll try to reach out to as many as possible. He's here to talk to me live for a few minutes. Dr. Damien Dublin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. Pleasure to be on.
How did you react to the news on the weekend?
That hit me like, it's like, at some point in time, all of us have to go, but, it just, when you heard the news, it was just sad. But as you rightly said, history did absolve him, because by just the reaction of the world leaders and everybody around, you could just use that as a gauge to note his contribution to humanity. Fidel was more than just a Cuban. He was a man of the world, and the impact spread right across. I mean, in Dominica, we know the contribution of Cuba to the human resource development. I mean, we see it in all spheres and area of Dominican life, where the graduates are involved and everybody making a contribution in all levels. I mean, to me, that was, to us, is one of the most significant, because with your human resource, the contribution continues right through the lifetime. The contribution in the health field, we had nurses who came down to train our local nurses. Up to this time, we have Cuban medical doctor specialists who are here contributing. And significantly, the role of Cuba in Africa needs to be highlighted, because it was the Cubans who actually sent their soldiers to that famous war in South Africa to defeat the army and end that whole myth that apartheid as a system could not be dismantled. So Cuba has sacrificed in terms of their own people, sending their soldiers, training human resource all over the world. Interestingly, Matt, while I was in Cuba, it's like there are some Africans who are children of orphans who their parents died in the war, and they come to Cuba. There are special schools just for them. The children go from primary school to university, and all that is covered by the Cuban people. So it's just tremendous. And I think among all the world leaders, Fidel stands high above the rest, and his legacy will live on. And I think it's right, his prophetic words that history will absolve him. I think history will absolve him. So he go at 90, but his contribution lives on. I'm very happy and proud to have shared that experience of studying in Cuba, and met him a few times, maybe not close enough to shake hands, but seen him a few times at activities, and that alone was a joy.
Well, I guess I was luckier than you. I shared last week that I was one of the persons who traveled with the delegation with Pierre Charles, and he gave me that big hug, and the touching of the chest there for a minute. That felt good for a while. So I had dinner with Castro some years ago, and I remember that until today. As a matter of fact, that is one of the things that I have saved, and the invitation of Castro in my album to dinner. That was a great memory for me. I think it was 2002, 2003, if I last remember. But
also, as you mentioned, we need to commend the first set of guys. We call them the pioneers, man.
Yes.
Lloyd Pascal, Charles Pierre.
I think Mr. Prevost, was Mr. Prevost part of that delegation?
No, I wasn't part of the first group. I was like...
No, I'm saying, was Mr. Prevost part of the first group?
Yeah, Prevost. I was in the second group, like if Mackenzie and Dr. Alexis, that was our group there. But the first set of guys who... at that time how it wasn't easy. People, parents who prevented their children from going. Because, the whole mentality and.
But why did you, Dr. Dublin, why did you take that challenge? Because you know the amount of struggles around the late 80s and early 90s, with Cuban graduates.
I think if that group went up, we were, how would I say, conscious in the sense that we were involved in the whole struggle in terms of the Black Power stuff. So we understood the whole situation of Cuba, not as was projected by the American and other press. So we go in there, having been involved in our local movement, understanding the whole Black Power movement. So we were going there for different consciousness. So we were not afraid of really going. But a lot of people subsequently went still with that fear, but while they were there, they realized, hey, it's not as what you think. So why in Freedom Party time they were afraid to they didn't send anybody just because of that fear. And the propaganda is real, because in your mind, I'll tell you something, even when he came back after graduating after 6 years, it wasn't easy. We went for a serious period of struggle to get employment, even get recognition for what we studied. Because most people feel like, these guys went up there to do other things other than and study what they said they were studying. So. But all that is gone right now. The Cuban program is well accepted. People go to Cuba right now. And I think we need to highlight that significant move that Obama made in terms of normalizing the relationship with Cuba. The ultimate aim is to really get the embargo lifted, and that's a struggle. Recently in the United Nations, almost all the nations voted. It's only America that voted against it. All the other nations voted to lift the embargo, but
were you optimistic?
I am. I think eventually, even now with that, with Trump coming in, which people see as probably a setback, but the pressure of the other countries and the world, I think eventually they will have to relent. Because if you using a strategy of isolation over the years to force somebody to force the system to be like yours, and it's not working, that's what Omar realized. That strategy over the years America has been using of isolation has not been working. And right now, that move going to benefit both Cuba and America. Miami is just 90 miles from Havana, so you can imagine the movement of people and the economies of scale, and it's just going to be beneficial for both countries. And I think for the peace of the world, I think that was a great move that we need to support, and all of us have to try to see if we can get that embargo lifted.
So his legacy will continue.
Yeah, man. As Fidel said, the struggle continues until victory. La lucha continua hasta la victoria. So it is with it's just, it mightn't be in our generation, but we just have to play our part in our time. Yeah.
All right. Dr. Damien Dublin, thank you very much for sharing with us this morning.
Pleasure, man. All the best.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take some of your phone calls.
Enjoy Christmas in November at Astafan Supercenter Roseau and Astafans Home and Building Center in Fonkole, and get up to 50% discount when you shop at our electronic, wholesale, furniture, clothing, shoes, hardware, and builder supply departments. Promotion starts November 2nd. Hurry down to Astafans for your early Christmas shares. Astafans, right place, right price.
Terms and conditions apply. Play fast, play loud, play bold. Enjoy flexibility and best value from Digicel Play's new TV and broadband bundles from as low as $89. With Play Fast, enjoy 32 video channels. Play Loud gives you 46 video channels. Then there's Play Bold, 98 video channels. All bundles come with 50 music channels, 8 radio channels, and 8 megs internet. Choose the bundle that's right for you. Sign up today. Get free connection, free installation and setup box, or sign up for our TV only offer from as low as $25. Call 616-1700 for details.
Time to sleep, darling.
Dad, are there any monsters under the bed?
Not while I'm here. You're safe and sound.
Feeling cared for, protected, and secure. It's a feeling that every Massey United Insurance customer knows. After all, they're in the same safe hands, protected by our financial strength, stability, and experience, and cared for by our team. Now, all our customers are even more secure with the sound strength of Massey. It's a great feeling. Massey United Insurance. To learn more, contact our agents, JB Charles and Company Limited at 448-2876, CAM Dupini Inc. at 448-3012, and LA Dupini and Company Limited at 448-2310.
If this hurricane coming, I'd better make sure I'm ready. I have my batteries and flashlight, water, tuna, sardines, and of course, Cricks, my vital supplies. Plus, with this new packaging, Cricks stays fresher for longer. So now I'm prepared for anything.
Cricks Vital Supplies.
Make your Christmas colorific with Berger. Get fantastic discounts and win instant prizes for every 2 gallons you buy of your favorite Berger paint in our Peel and Win promotion, where everyone is a winner. Thousands of great prizes to be won. Plus, enter for your chance to win fortnightly prizes of electronic tablets and the grand prize of a shopping trip for 2 to Miami with spending money. Visit www.bergerpaintscaribbean.com for more details. Berger, for lasting beauty and protection.
Local agents E.H. Charles and Company Limited.
Crystal Waters Blue Skies, a dramatic radio production capturing the under turmoil of an otherwise peaceful tropical paradise. Mondays and Wednesdays just before the hot seat. Listen to Crystal Waters Blue Skies. Water, blaze, fire.
Christmas is just around the corner, and Dominic wants you to light up and win big. Homeowners throughout Dominica, register with your village councils to participate. The Roseau City Council is the place of registration for residents of Roseau and environs. Light up and win this Christmas with Dominic. Visit your village council office or call 255-6031 for more details.
Dominic, the power to serve you better.
Millennium Store, good morning.
Do you sell copy paper?
Yes, we do. And as a matter of fact, we also sell deed paper, write-in pads, pens, manila folders, and other office supplies at affordable prices. We even sell school supplies.
Do you deliver?
Yes, we do. Shopping for office supplies has never been easier. Shop from the convenience of your office at www.themillenniumstore.com or call our office at Pottersville on 440-5540 to place your order. Millennium Store, we deliver your office needs.
In your tea, Madam Razad, silte iskino, yali oti doctor, they take 2 tablets every 6 hours. Yali po 6 tablets every 2 hours. Ambulance ki wamasi, it got chime. When she recovered yodi from no one, you go to Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. La yoke espiche tud bite bawa. La wivela, idio, you that is Quick Care? Yodi, yes, ma'am, Quick Care. Every type of personalized service. It tell me satisfy. Like we Kylie Dimawi, I get dependable, knowledgeable, trustable, and supportable service. Ma we di yes, that is a big table. I gade avec di Howard Juju cafe ve moi. If you no honey, go and take your medicine. Yes, Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. Service you can trust for all your prescription and over-the-counter drugs. He can, she can, they all can testify about the professionalism and benefits kote Quick Care Pharmacy. Premier for an text say St. Thomas avec di medicine by Quick Care delight all my sickness. It evle di delete. Quick Care Pharmacy kote Halsbro. Telephone 440-8600.
At 1 o'clock this afternoon, we will play you this exclusive interview with Carlisle John Baptist and the former DPP Jean Pestina. What you hear may amaze you. We're taking your phone calls at this time. We're going to open up the lines for the remaining minutes here. We're still trying to investigate. Story there on the weekend, remains of a human being may have been found in the Hillsborough area. The remains were found on Saturday, partly buried in a grave. First read the story on the DNO. Reports are that the remains are so badly decomposed that it could not be determined at the scene if they belong to a man or a woman. We'll continue to investigate the story. Also hearing that one person may be in police custody, assisting the police while they continue to investigate. Hello. Caller, are you there? Let's try another call. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Matt.
To you.
You know, Matt, while I sympathize with the people of Cuba, but I have never been a big fan of Fidel Castro himself.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what my reason is, Matt. You know, Matt, we are grateful for what Cuba has done for us here in Dominica. They have assisted us in education tremendously. They've also assisted us in terms of with regards to the health department. But my concern has always been with the Cuban people and how the Cuban people have been treated. And as I listened over the weekend to this on TV with Cubans, the largest concentration of Cubans outside of Cuba in the Miami area, and some of the stories that the people related, I just think it was... While Castro did a lot for us, but I think it's time to free up the people. You know, Matt, if today, I decide I want to go to La Plaine, I just jump in my vehicle and I go to La Plaine. But in Cuba, you can't do that. You have to apply. And you may or may not get permission to go. So you almost held as a prisoner in your own country. And after all those years that still continue to exist, Matt, this is why I never hailed the gentleman as any kind of hero. I have mixed feelings on the whole issue, but my concern is how you treat your own people, your citizens of your country, and I was never happy with the way he treated them, and up to this day.
So you're saying that if you had to go to another province, you had to apply? I don't know.
Yes, Matt.
I've never heard that story from any of the Cuban graduates in Dominica.
Ask them, and if they want to tell you the truth, they will. But you cannot just pick up and go where you want. You still depend, like you have a zone that you can travel. Like if I wanted to leave Portsmouth and maybe go Collyho or go to Penville or something, that might be my zone and I can travel freely within that. But if I wanted to go as though like outside of your zone, you have to apply. Ask them, Matt, and if they want to tell you, I have researched it and you can always verify that.
All right. I will do that. I will do that. I have been to Cuba myself. I never got that impression. Hello, talk to me. Yes? Caller, are you there? Good morning. Hello.
Yes, good morning, my brother. How you doing this morning?
Yes, yes.
And good morning to the Nature Island. My brother, you know, that's why you have to hear different stories about Cuba from different people. I met a Haitian old gentleman on coming from out the state in the airport. And the man told me the people you see in Florida there, those are the lighter skin complexion individual that didn't care about the darker skin Cuban people.
Okay.
They're the ones that had the problem with Castro. He told me that.
So they were the rich people.
Yes, Castro was a fair person looking out for each and every one. And they thought, well, Castro cannot take this stuff and be balanced with it. So they're the one that left and hate Castro. So people have to be mindful of the things that search and get information before they say what they have to say. Those are the people to this day hated Castro. But my brother Castro was a blessed man. How many assassination attempts? And that man was protected. And the evidence is there to see. He was doing a good thing for nature and the humanitarian. And Castro is a man that will always be alive in the hearts and minds of people, my brother. And God bless Cuba. And thank for what he did to them, including my family, brother that studied in Cuba. Now he's a big doctor in Brazil. That's Ira's brother. He's a big doctor in Cuba, in Brazil. Thanks to Castro and the Cuban doctors and them.
All right. Most of our medical doctors, it appears, have been trained by the Cuban people or government. Hello.
Hey, Matt, good morning. How you doing, man?
How are you doing, brother?
Great. Condolences to the Fidel Castro and the Cuban people. My condolences goes to them. But, Matt, I want to call in a different note here. I don't know if you've been noticing the weather. I don't know how the weather is in Roseau. But on the east coast of the island, the weather has been turning a little bit. I guess there's a slight trough that's going through the...
Is it raining already down on the east coast?
That is correct. We are starting to get a little slight wind, and the sky is turning all dark, and Columbus stratus clouds, where the weather is actually obvious. It's turning.
Okay.
To get into... So I was calling on the public and the people of La Plaine and the Eastern District to, as you already know, the situation with us on this side, or water or intake, usually when we have heavy rain, to collect on clean water, remain tuned into your radio stations. And for advisory reports, continuous, we will bring it. The La Plaine Disaster Preparedness Management Committee will bring it to you as it happens. We are on top of it with the Office of Disaster Management, ODM. Matt, yesterday we had an outstanding simulation drill in La Plaine, conducted by the Office of Disaster Management, Mr. Frederick Donaldson, and the DDA, and myself as the chair of the La Plaine Disaster Preparedness Committee. It was a successful drill. I sent you a couple photos of that. We are getting ready and trying to do cert certification to refresh them, to make sure that a lot of them, they had a little, mix and picks of their course they did, certain things they could remember. But more of this drill will help them to able to respond to a massive casualty, how they'll be able to handle a massive casualty that does occur, especially on this side of the island. If we get caught off at O'Daly, or if we have a situation like Erica, we get caught up, then the people from Office of Disaster Management will not be able to get to us. But we have to be able to be ready to be able to respond and then to deal with the circumstances and the stuff that happens here on this side. Of course, everywhere on the island have their own disaster, their kind of disaster, but La Plaine has, we have flooding, and when the heavy rains fall, and we have the loss of intakes, and also the bridges at La Ronde. We have a situation happening presently at La Ronde. Heavy rains have been going on, and then the bridge, Matt, is completely almost gone. The people of La Ronde are complaining to the government and complaining to the other residents that the La Ronde Bridge, they need to pay attention to the La Ronde Bridge. This is the only way to Delis. This is the only passageway to the Botica area and also to La Ronde. And then they have been digging that river continuously. And the river, the level of the bridge in La Ronde, you can just call it, is the riverbed. So I am calling on the authorities to pay attention to La Ronde Bridge in La Plaine, because it is going, and little by little, it will just completely go down into the ocean when the river comes down, when we have heavy rain.
All right, though. Thank you for that information. I just want to remind you to pay attention to the trough system there that may affect and as we just heard, is affecting the island already. Let's listen to this BBC news on Fidel Castro, Cuba's leader of the revolution, who died at 90 on Saturday.
Renunciar a la revolución, renunciar al socialismo, rendirnos.
Fidel Castro was the world's longest-serving dictator.
Although the United States often tried to get rid of him, in the end, Fidel Castro outlasted 9 American presidents. He was a constant irritant to them, a communist leader right on their doorstep. Castro was determined to overthrow the American-backed Batista regime, which happily profited from the corruption and gross inequality of a haven for the playboy rich, dominated by organized crime. So Castro and his band of revolutionaries masterminded a classic guerrilla campaign from their mountain base.
On January the 2nd, 1959, the rebel army entered Havana.
Castro had triumphed, Batista had fled, and Cuba had a new government, with the legendary Che Guevara among its members. Its promise to give the land back to the people and defend the rights of the poor. Soon afterwards, Castro went to America, saying he wanted to be friends with his powerful neighbor, but he felt rejected when President Eisenhower wouldn't see him. Snubbed by the Americans, Castro claimed he was driven into the arms of the Soviet Union and its leader, Nikita Khrushchev. Cuba had now become a Cold War battleground. April 1961, the Bay of Pigs. This was America's doomed attempt to topple Castro by recruiting a private army of Cuban exiles to invade the island. But the young revolutionary was more than a match for them. Under his command, Cuban troops repulsed the invaders, killing many and capturing 1,000.
The evidence is incontrovertible.
A year later, the stakes were far higher. American reconnaissance planes discovered Soviet missiles on their way to sites in Cuba. The world was suddenly staring into the abyss of all-out nuclear war.
Unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island.
The superpowers stood eyeball to eyeball, but it was Khrushchev who blinked first, pulling his missiles out of Cuba in return for a secret withdrawal of US weapons from Turkey. Castro, though, had become America's enemy number one. The CIA frequently tried to assassinate him, most infamously with a cigar packed with explosives. Other schemes were even more bizarre.
This was a bright idea that if we got a certain powder to him, if he put it on, his beard would fall out and the Cuban people would all fall over laughing and he would be ridiculed.
But while America plotted, the Soviet Union poured money into Cuba. It bought the bulk of the island's sugar harvest, and Russian ships crammed into Havana harbor, bringing in desperately needed goods to beat the American blockade. But when Soviet communism collapsed, so too did Cuba's economy. The little island faced economic collapse. Tempers grew shorter as the food queues grew longer. By the mid-90s, many Cubans had had enough. Thousands took to the sea in a waterborne exodus to Florida. It was a crushing vote of no confidence in Fidel Castro, and the Florida exiles became the focus of a vigorous campaign to undermine Castro's regime. Still, Castro could be proud of some of his achievements. High-quality medical care, freely available for all. Literacy rates matching leading industrialized countries. But in 2006, Fidel Castro was forced by illness to hand power to his younger brother Raúl. He initiated a program of reforms without undoing all his brother's work. Out of power and increasingly frail, Fidel Castro was seen only rarely. This was January 2014. Later that year, the United States and Cuba made their biggest move towards a permanent thaw, hoping to draw a line under the past. But Fidel Castro remained a huge figure of the 20th century, and the Fidel effect will fade only slowly. While many Cubans undoubtedly detested Fidel Castro, others genuinely loved him. They saw him as a David who could stand up to the Goliath of America, who successfully spat in the Yankee eye. For them, Castro was Cuba, and Cuba was Castro. James Robbins, BBC News.
All right, a very comprehensive report there from the BBC. Let's take a phone call, 9:55. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, good morning to you, my friend.
How you doing?
Cool, Matt. Matt, I know we're talking about Fidel Castro right now. But before I do give my little piece about it, let me take this opportunity to extend my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Clement Isidore Mao. He just passed away suddenly in New York.
I heard that last weekend, yes.
Yeah, healthy guy just died, and it's kind of, it was really heartbroken for a lot of us, friends and family that knew this guy. Really wonderful person. So let me big up Ronnie, Rambo, and the rest of the folks in Mao and those in New York, that's really suffering right now. Joanne and Tyson and the rest of the guys, But Matt, for us to really understand, Fidel Castro, we have to go back to the beginning, to before what was happening in Cuba before the revolution, What the misery that these people were going through, and most people, and I will not take up a lot of your time, Matt. But when I moved to South Florida in 1994, and I saw the fluctuation of Cubans coming to Miami, I really thought that there were no black people in Cuba. Because all I saw was white people.
Okay.
The white people coming to Cuba, from Cuba to Miami, and I keep wondering, and it's my good friend Sobers Esprit who told me that there are more black people in Cuba than white people, and I keep wondering why are these black people not coming over? And it's then you start and make your research and you see what was really happening, and I view Castro as a guy that really loved people, especially black people. Look at what he did for the Caribbean people, man. And this guy really cared about people. I mean, it is really heartbroken to see those people in Miami right now celebrating this man's death. And this man have done so much for humanity, Matt. This man have looked up so much. And, I don't know if you know, Matt, probably I'm older than you, a young guy. You don't know what that people from all over the Caribbean, Matt.
Yes.
People from all over the Caribbean used to go to Cuba and cut cane, Yes, man. People from Cuba, the Caribbean used to go to Cuba and cut cane, and this is really...
But I'm hearing, and the more I studied, the more I realized what may have been going on. A lot of the rich people will live in Cuba because, it was their lands that Castro took and gave to, the poor.
Yes, man, and these people used to work, man, and struggle. And when Castro took over, he said, go and work now, go and cut the cane, see how it feels like to work and get paid. Before Castro took over, it was a big dictatorship that was going on in Cuba. I did not feel like it was a bed of roses that people used to just, everything was nice and sweet and dandy.
They referred to it as a playground at some time for the rich American folks, huh?
Exactly, and then during the revolution, Castro revolution, Matt, the United States was supporting Castro, A lot of people don't know that. But they back away after a while, and Castro had to go to very good source help because things was bad. He had to go to Russia, and that's when he really became very close to Russia. If people do their research, Matt, and they will find out that Castro was a great guy, a guy that looked out for poor people, that really wanted to help poor people.
Well, the debate continues. Thank you. We have just 2 more minutes. Hello, 9:58. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Matt.
I
know 2 gentlemen from Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I believe they're the Gachette family, and I can remember in the 60s. I know one as their name was one we used to call him Tambus, and another name was Watson Gachette, and then those people were in Cuba. And I can remember the gentleman, which is Tampus, used to give us a lot of stories about Cuba and Fidel Castro.
Okay.
So I know, these are the 2 people from Scotland I know that were giving their story in Cuba.
All right. Well, they're giving a different version, I imagine. It's 449-3095-9697. Very shortly, we'll stop for the news. Hello.
Morning, Matt. Pat here.
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
I'm good. First of all, let me hail up Jason Fontaine, the liberator of Lapland.
Matt, where Castro is concerned, that caller from the U.S. who called and told you why the lighter-skinned Cubans hated Castro, the story is correct and exact. You see, Matt, when you check it, Castro is about the only man who has taken over his country by arms and survived it, you know. And I'm sure you have never heard any stories of Castro having hidden money in any foreign banks.
No.
Castro enriching himself, having golden or expensive toilets like other dictators do. I mean, and for a man who was under the gun of the Western world to have educated all his people like that, and educated Caribbean people and African people, you know, under these circumstances, there can be no doubt that this man was special and he was a great man. And no matter how righteous you are in the world, now you will have people who will not like you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good stuff there for the morning news.
Good morning and welcome to Q95's morning news update for today, Monday, November 28th, 2016. This is brought to you compliments Dominic Aburian Beverages Limited and Digicel.
This is my life, this is my year, and I'll drink Kubuli anywhere. WID, what you doing? We heading down to the river with Kubuli in a cooler. Do you see what I see? Drinks from the freezer, and Kubuli is the winner. Dominica Brewery is the leader. This is my life, this is my beer, and I'll drink Kubuli anywhere. This is my life, this is my beer, and I'll drink Kubuli anywhere.
Play fast, play loud, play bold. Enjoy flexibility and best value from Digicel Plays.